you answer a question incorrectly, the test will automatically know that you got that wrong, and the algorithm will change. And so you're going to get a lot of questions based on that one category. And let's say, heaven forbid, a student doesn't pass their boards. Then later they have time to evaluate how the test went. They'll think, wow, I had a ton of AVM or fistula questions on my vascular board. Or they were taking their SPI test and they had a ton of questions on temporal resolution. Or they were taking their echo boards and they had a ton of questions on non-compaction cardiomyopathies. So that's what I have to study for next time. If I just know my AVM and fistula questions, I'll be good next time. But that's not true, so don't get sucked into that trap. Here's how the test works. Every time you answer a question, whether it's right or wrong, or you don't answer at all, the whole test changes. Now let's say that you answer a question, but it's incorrect. Your next question will be similar to your previous question. This is how a themed test is started. Like if you were taking the pediatric sonography boards and you were getting a lot of questions on hydrocephalus, or they're taking their OBGYN boards and they're getting a lot of questions where they show a defect and they say which syndrome is associated with this defect. The test knows that you got that question wrong. So what you want to do is go back and evaluate that first question that kind of started that chain of themed questions. Now, the cool thing about these National Registry boards is that they will sometimes throw you a bone. So let's say you're taking your fetal echocardiography boards, and let's say the question is saying what procedures performed first or immediately following birth of a baby who has dextrojuxtaposition of the great arteries. Let's say you mistakenly put the J-team procedure where they do the great artery switch, instead of putting the Rashkind or the balloon septostomy procedure. Then maybe what will happen is that the 5th or 10th question down the road, a question will say, a patient gives birth to a baby who has dextrojuxtaposition of the great arteries, and a doctor immediately performs a balloon atrial. What else can the doctor do to help the baby return to a pinkish hue? And the answer, of course, is give the baby prostaglandins to keep that PDA open to help perfuse the rest of the body. So that question is answering your previous question. Make sure you read all your questions carefully. Don't read too fast. Make sure when you read the question, you take a second to ponder the possible answer even before you look at your options. Then when you've decided what the possible answer is, and it's still under 30 seconds, look at your options, and if you see your option or something close to it, go with it. If you can help it, try not to flag too many questions. If you were to flag the entire test, then the test would think you don't know anything, and every question would be extremely difficult, so don't do that. Any question requiring you to click or drag and drop an X on, those are called hotspot questions. Those are weighted higher in points more than any other question. So no pressure, but you kind of have to get those questions right. If you click in the area not exactly on the spot that they're asking, but kind of close to it, or you put the X near or close to the area they're talking about, but not right on it, you might get some partial points. Just because you're taking an ultrasound board doesn't mean that they can't throw in other modalities into your tests. For instance, it's not going to hurt to kind of review some CT images of certain diseases. They can even throw in MRI. So I would just be ready for anything and everything. With all that being said, if you still need further advice and tips, feel free to email, call, or text me at any time. My email address is ultrasoundboardreview@gmail.com, and my number is 435-922-1635. I'm always available to talk. If you want to chit-chat about your upcoming boards or you need last-minute advice, I work with students who have learning disabilities, who have test anxiety, so contact me and I will help you with whatever you need. I'm Jim with ultrasoundboardreview.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.